Hey everyone, Kristen David, and I am here with Randi Johnson, and we're just talking about systems. And wanted to just share, I'm here in Seattle. Randi used to live in Seattle. She's now on the other side of the state and all over the place these days. But we wanted to just chit chat a little bit and share some insights about how using systems not only impacts your business, but your personal life and makes life better. So, Randi, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, you owned and operated your own law firm for many years, and you went from being kind of a solo to building up a pretty good sized team. Tell us about some of the systems you put in place in your business to make it happen more fluid, more, streamlined as you went.
So I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to do all the things all the time. And as we were bringing in more people, I was still the time suck for everyone because I was the resource center, I was the media room, I was the vault, and I had all the information that just lived up here. And I didn't feel any more liberated with my time. I just had more people who were asking me more questions all the time. So we started out by, I felt really overwhelmed at first. And then I thought, okay, let me just write down all the things that people ask me all the time. And then we'll prioritize them, what's taking most of my time and would love to get off of my plate. And I just went one at a time. So it was, how do we want to greet people and sign on and welcome new clients? All right, that's a thing. Let's just walk it out. And then the next thing was, how do we prepare someone for court? Or how do we deposit a check? Or how do we file things? All the stuff that people would just ask me all the time. And then all of a sudden, they weren't coming to my door all the time. And that was lovely.
That's such a great feeling when you're able to look around and see everybody like cranking those wheels and working effectively. But I also think it causes each of the team members to feel more productive.
Oh, they loved it. So, version 1.0 is always dirty. It's messy. It's not good, but it's out of your head. And then it's leading your team so that they feel empowered to make that version 2.0 and 3.0. And now it's theirs and they're really proud of it. And they feel like they've taken the baton and they've, moved us to the next place. And then you get your team bought in and we just keep progressing from there.
And that's part of it is getting the team to buy in and do it with you.
Yeah, it was great. They would make suggestions on the off time their creative juices were flowing. And they're like, oh, here's this technology I just heard about. You want to try it? It could do all this stuff. It would save me 30 minutes a day. All right, cool. Whatever.
Awesome. So share with us a little bit of what was it like when you got an executive assistant, and how did some of these systems and processes transition into your personal life?
Man, getting an EA was the best because I could schedule things like a date night with my husband or me getting a massage or all the time we spend finding airline tickets and hotel accommodations and renting a car and all of that stuff that just needs to be done, but I don't want to do it. She calls them up. She put our office on a regular maintenance schedule for supplies and ordering and social type things, connecting me for meet and greets and other networking opportunities that I would come home from a thing and say, hey, here's 10 people I'd love to meet. But I don't have the time to go back and forth and try to find a time on my calendar, but she can. So I can say, here's 10 people I really need to meet in the next 30 days. Please get them on my calendar. Done.
Awesome.
Best day.
Yes. So you have a couple of little ones. How have you implemented systems by creating all these processes and methods in your business? How is that translated into your personal life?
Well, really well, I would say. So my kids are 6 and 9, and now it's just part of their life that, we do things in a way. And, I think as most parents would agree, children tend to thrive when there's a routine and there's a set of expectations and things happen in a certain way to do a thing. It's just like our businesses. So it's the same thing for them. We've written it out, or to the extent that they're not ready to read, there's pictures that these are your chores and this is the order in which we get ready for school or whatever. And now they know what their expectations are too. So they're not going to keep coming to me and be like, what do I do after brushing my teeth again? Yeah. Well, what's your system? Go look at the chart.
Yay. I love it. I love it. And it does. It gives them that clarity of what to do next. Absolutely.
And they're so proud of themselves. I mean, really, it's just the same as when I'm leading my team. Like everyone's, when you come to our daily standing meeting, or at the end of a month and end of a quarter meetings where they're more into a deeper dive, and folks are like, oh, I ran into a snag, but I fixed it, and here's how I did that, and here's a recommendation for how else we might need to update this based on what came forward. Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, I took care of it. Okay.
Always making it better, always building and growing. So I've got to give a shout out to Marcella, who's finally helping you celebrate getting to share your tips. little ongoing process there, but that's all good, right? And off our LinkedIn, somebody put, love it, kids learning time management early. I do. Yeah. And here's the thing, we all do well with a routine. It's not just children, our team members, ourselves.
Yeah.
We do better. And I agree. My EA does a great job of making sure that there's a day to shut the laptop and have mental health, reset, just go for a walk or date nights and things so that I get into my routine. So every Thursday night, I know what I'm doing and don't end up just working all night, even though I love my business.
Totally. I know, my husband was initially really concerned when we hired the EA, because he was like, oh my gosh, we're just going to have every moment will be planned. There'll be no spontaneity in our lives. It'll be so boring. But really, the only things that are getting stuck on there are the things we were doing all the time anyway. We just don't now have to spend like all sorts of minutes thinking about it and planning it. It's just already there. So what's left is the free time. Like we get to spend more time creatively thinking about where do we want to play next, because we know we have a date coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you tell people that are wanting to build systems, business owners, admins, support staff that want to help their business get better? Where would you suggest they start?
I think starting with the thing you hate doing most. Just do one, because then you can see how much happy you are. You'll be motivated to take on another one and another one and another one. But if you just start with the one that you just can't stand doing, that's a big win.
I love that. I love that. Yes. I absolutely agree with that one. The other thing is don't start over. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. No. I think is the other one that too many people, and no judgment zone. I sat on the couch for all those years, just sitting there writing procedures. And honestly, I wasn't the best person. Like, I was writing procedures where I would jump from like step B to step E or F because I wasn't the one doing it all the time. Right. I was like, and so I really learned early on, like, use what somebody else has already started. Use your team who's actually doing it in the moment, right? Don't try to get it all done yourself as an owner. Right. So
yeah, and definitely. And if the thing that you want to fix is a thing that someone else is already doing, I always ask that person to give me their first draft. Like, let's look at what they think the system is, and then you can look at it together and be like, oh, this is not efficient at all. And now you come up with a whole thing, and they're so excited.
Yes. So when Jacqueline put in, be intentional. Start with a template someone else does for you, so you have a jumping off point to get going. Absolutely. And I also have to love that Christy jumped in with a little shout out to all the EAs out there. I absolutely agree.
Yes.
EAs are just game changers, as you said.
Total game changers.
So, any final words of wisdom, tips for all those people that talk a big game about wanting to systematize their business, wanting to implement systems and processes, but haven't really made it happen yet?
You can do it. I mean, that's probably, the thing that stops most of us is like, it's not going to be right. It's not going to be perfect. Yes, all those things. It won't be right and it won't be perfect, but you can't fix it until you start.
Yeah. Well, like you said, version 1.0, right? Like it's not going to be ready yet,
No.
but at least it's something. So just get started. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you for jumping on and sharing some tips with everyone.
Yeah,
Always a pleasure having you on.
Thanks.
Awesome. Have a good and productive day, everyone. Thanks, Randi.
Thanks.